and welcome back to the Learn English with Friends podcast. We are happy you are here with us today. I'm Marco.
And I'm Erica. We are here to help you speak English better. We talk about normal, everyday things in easy English. It's like talking with friends.
Yes, and today's topic is very useful. We will talk about English you can use at the office.
That's right. If you work in an office now or want to work in one later, this is for you. We will teach you 100 important phrases for work.
These are phrases you can use every day, like saying hello to people you work with, asking for help, or talking about meetings.
This is real, practical English. You can use these phrases at your job tomorrow.
If you like this lesson, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps us. And remember to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss new videos.
Okay, are you ready to learn? Let's begin.
So, Erica, how are you feeling today?
I'm good, thanks. A little tired. I was up late last night finishing some work. How about you?
I'm great. I had a nice, quiet weekend. I feel ready for the week.
Nice. What did you do?
Well, on Saturday, I went to a coffee shop to do some work. It sounds boring, I know, but I like the atmosphere there. I can focus better than at home.
Really? I'm the opposite. I tried to work at a coffee shop on Sunday, but it was too noisy. So many people talking. I couldn't concentrate at all.
Oh no. Maybe you went at a busy time.
Yeah, I went at noon. Bad idea. Next time, I'll go in the morning.
Good plan. I always go early, around 7 or 8 a.m. It's very peaceful then.
You are smart about that. Hey, talking about work and being productive connects well with our topic today.
It does. Whether you work in an office, at home, or in a coffee shop, you need to talk to your team and clients.
Exactly. So let's learn all the important phrases you need for the office.
Okay, Erica, let's imagine you arrive at the office in the morning. What's the first thing you say to your coworkers?
I usually just say good morning or a simple morning.
Yes, simple and friendly. You can also say, "Hi, how are you?" or "Hey, how's it going?"
And a common reply is good, thanks. How about you? Or I'm fine, thanks.
These are polite ways to greet people. You don't need a long talk, but it's nice to be friendly.
Sometimes I add, good morning. Did you have a nice weekend?
I like that. It's more personal. It shows you care.
Yes, and it starts a little conversation. People often say, yes, it was great, thanks, or it was good, I spent time with my family.
What if someone asks me about my weekend, but I don't want to talk much?
Just keep it short. Say, it was good, thanks, or pretty relaxing, how about yours? Then they can talk.
Smart. Okay, after greetings, what happens next?
I usually need to look at my emails and messages. I might think or say, I need to check my emails, or let me see my messages.
And if I have a lot, I might say, oh no, so many emails, or my inbox is full.
Yes, that happens to me all the time. I sometimes say, I need to go through my emails. That means I need to read and answer them.
What does go through mean exactly?
Good question. It means to look at things one by one carefully. Like going through emails means reading each email.
I see. So after emails, maybe I need to talk to my boss. What should I say?
You can say, do you have a minute? Or can I talk to you about something?
What if they look really busy? Should I still ask?
If they look busy, be more polite. Say, sorry to bother you, but, or, when you have time, could we talk about?
Sorry to bother you is very polite. What does bother mean?
Bother means to interrupt or disturb someone. Saying, sorry to bother you, shows you know they are busy.
Got it. So if my boss says they have time and I need to ask about a project, how do I start?
You can say, I have a question about the project, or I need some help with something. You can also say, could you clarify something for me?
Clarify? What does that mean?
Clarify means to make something clear or easier to understand. If you're confused, you ask someone to clarify.
So, could you clarify the deadline for this project?
Perfect. Or you could ask, when is this due? Due means the time you need to finish something, right?
Yes, the deadline. Sometimes my boss gives me a new task and I don't understand it well. What can I say?
Ask questions. Don't pretend you understand. You can say, could you explain that again? Or, I'm not sure I understand. Could you repeat that?
Sometimes I feel shy to ask, but I know it's important.
Very important. It's better to ask than to do the work wrong. You can also say, just to confirm, you want me to, and then say what you think they meant.
That's a good way to check if I understood.
Exactly. Now let's talk about meetings. They are a big part of office life. How do you feel about meetings, Marco?
Honestly, I don't love them. Sometimes they are too long, but I know they are needed.
I understand. Some meetings are good, some are not. But you need the right words for them. For example, to plan a meeting, you might say, let's schedule a meeting for tomorrow. Or, can we meet at 2 p.m.?
What if they suggest a time I can't do?
Say, I'm not free at that time. Or, I have a conflict at 2 p.m. Could we meet at 3 instead?
Conflict? What does that mean here?
It means you have another thing planned at that same time. It's a polite way to say you're busy.
So if 3 p.m. is good, I say 3 p.m. works for me, or that works for me.
Perfect. During the meeting, you might need to share ideas. You can say, I'd like to share an update on the project, or can I add something?
What if I want to politely stop someone to say something?
You can say, sorry to interrupt, but, or can I just add something here? Or, if I may?
If I may sounds very formal.
It is formal, but very polite. It's good for professional settings. You can also say, may I suggest something, when you have an idea?
Okay, what about when I agree with someone?
You can say, I agree with that. That's a great point. Or, I think that's a good idea.
And if I disagree, how can I be polite?
Be diplomatic. You can say, I see your point, but, or, that's interesting, however, or, I have a different opinion. This is much better than just saying, no, I disagree.
Right. Be respectful even when you disagree.
You can also ask, have you considered? And then give your idea.
That's helpful. What about when the meeting is ending?
Someone might say, let's wrap this up, which means let's finish. Or, I think that's everything for today. Or, does anyone have any questions before we end?
Then someone might say, let's touch base next week.
Yes, touch base means to connect or talk again. It's a common phrase. Let's touch base on Friday. Or, I'll touch base with you later.
Okay, meetings are done. Now working with teammates on projects. What phrases do I need?
If you need help, say, could you help me with this? Or, do you have time to help me with something?
And if a teammate asks me for help, but I'm too busy?
Say, I'm in the middle of something right now, but I can help you later. Or, I'm swamped at the moment. Can it wait until this afternoon?
Swamped? What's that?
Swamped means very busy, like you have too much work. I'm swamped with work, or I'm really swamped this week.
Got it. What if I want to work together on a project with someone?
You can say, would you like to work together on this? Or, why don't we collaborate on this project? Or, let's team up for this.
And if we are working together and I finish my part, what do I say?
You can say, I've completed my part, or I finished my section. Do you need help with yours? Or, my part is done. Let me know if you need anything.
How about asking someone to check my work?
You can say, could you review this and give me feedback? Or, let me know what you think. Or, I'd appreciate your input on this.
Input. What does that mean?
Input means someone's ideas or opinions. If you ask for input, you want their thoughts.
Okay. So if my colleague gives me feedback, I can say, thanks for the feedback, or I appreciate your input.
Yes. Now, let's talk about deadlines. What phrases are important?
If you want to ask about a deadline, you say, when is this due? Or what's the deadline for this?
If you are telling someone a deadline, you say, this is due by Friday, or the deadline is next Monday.
What if I can't finish on time?
Tell them early. Don't wait. You can say, I'm running behind on this, or I need an extension on the deadline, or I don't think I can finish this by Friday. Is Monday possible?
Running behind means I'm late or slow, right?
Exactly. It's an honest way to say you're behind schedule.
So it's better to be honest and ask for more time.
Yes. And if you finish early or on time, you can tell your manager, I've completed the project, or the report is finished.
What about phone calls? I'm not always sure what to say on the phone in English.
Phone calls can be hard. When you answer, you usually say, hello, this is your name, or good morning, company name, this is your name speaking.
And if I'm calling someone, I say, hi, this is your name from company name. I'm calling about, or hello, may I speak with person's name?
If the person isn't there, the receptionist might say, I'm sorry, they're not available right now, or they're in a meeting.
Then I can say, could I leave a message? Or when would be a good time to call back?
And if someone calls for your colleague who isn't there, you say, I'm sorry, they're not at their desk right now. Can I take a message?
Take a message means to write down information for them?
Yes, you write down the caller's name and message and give it to your colleague later.
That makes sense. What about emails? I write a lot of emails.
Emails have their own style. To start, you can write Dear Name for formal emails, or Hi Name for less formal ones.
And how do I start the message?
You can write, I hope this email finds you well for formal emails. Or you can start with, I'm writing to, or I wanted to follow up on, or just touching base about.
Follow-up? What's that?
It means to check on something or continue a past conversation. If you sent an email last week and got no reply, you can send a follow-up email. I'm following up on my previous email.
Okay, and how do I end an email?
Common endings are best regards, kind regards, thank you, or thanks so much. Then you write your name.
What if I need something from someone? How do I ask politely?
You can write, could you please, or would you be able to, or I would appreciate it if you could. These are all polite ways to ask.
And if I need it very soon, I can write, this is urgent, but I shouldn't use that word too often.
Exactly. Save urgent for things that really need quick action.
Good point. What about saying no in an email?
Be polite but clear. You can write, unfortunately, I won't be able to, or I'm afraid I can't, or I don't have the capacity to take this on right now.
Capacity. What does that mean here?
It means the time or ability to do something. I don't have the capacity means I'm too busy.
I see. What about talking about problems at work?
You can say, we have a problem with, or there's an issue with, or I'd like to bring something to your attention.
And if I want to suggest a solution?
You can say, I think we should, or my suggestion is, or what if we tried this?
Those sound like good teamwork. What about when something goes wrong? How do I say sorry professionally?
You say, I apologize for the delay, or I'm sorry for the confusion, or I take full responsibility for this mistake. That sounds mature.
Better than just saying, my bad, right?
Right. You can also add, I'll make sure this doesn't happen again.
Good. What about praising a colleague? If someone does great work, what can I say?
You can say, great job on the presentation, or you did excellent work on this project, or I'm impressed with your results.
And to thank them for working hard?
Say, thank you for your hard work, or I appreciate your effort on this, or thanks for going above and beyond.
Going above and beyond? What does that mean?
It means doing more than what was expected, doing extra work, or putting in extra effort.
That's a nice phrase. Okay, what about breaks and lunch?
You might say, I'm going to take a break, or I'll be back in 15 minutes, or I'm heading to lunch, I'll be back at 1 p.m.
And to invite a colleague to lunch?
Say, do you want to grab lunch? Or would you like to join me for lunch? Or are you free for lunch?
Grab lunch? What's that?
Grab means to get something quickly. Grab lunch is a casual way to say get lunch together. You can also say grab coffee.
Okay. And at the end of the day, what do people say when they leave?
Usually people say, have a good evening, see you tomorrow, or I'm heading out, see you Monday.
And if someone is working late, they might say, I'm going to stay late to finish this, or I need to work overtime tonight.
Overtime means working more than your normal hours.
Wow, Erica, we learned a lot of phrases today.
We did. These are all important for talking at work. If you learn these, you will feel more confident.
I agree. The best way to learn is to practice using them in real situations.
Yes. Start with a few phrases and use them every day, then add more.
You know, while we were talking, we used many useful words. Let's review some of the most important ones.
Good idea. Let's go through them.
First word, bother. This means to interrupt or disturb. Sorry to bother you is very polite.
Second word, clarify. This means to make something clear. Could you clarify the instructions?
Third word, deadline. This is the date or time when you must finish something. The deadline is Friday.
Fourth word, swamped. This means very, very busy. I'm swamped with work today.
Fifth word, input. This means ideas or opinions. Thanks for your input on the project.
Sixth word, collaborate. This means to work together. Let's collaborate on this report.
Seventh word, follow up. This means to check on something again. I'll follow up with you next week.
Eighth word, capacity. This means the time or ability to do something. I don't have the capacity to help right now.
Ninth word, touch base. This means to connect or talk briefly. Let's touch base tomorrow morning.
10th word, urgent. This means something needs to be done very soon. This is an urgent matter.
11th word, finalize. This means to complete something in its final form. We need to finalize the plan today.
11th word, finalize. This means to complete something in its final form. We need to finalize the plan today.
Great summary. These words will help you sound professional at the office.
Okay, Marco, that was a lot of information. I hope our listeners aren't too tired.
Let's think about what we learned. We can break it into parts.
Good idea. First, we learned morning greetings. Phrases like good morning and how was your weekend?
Right. Then we talked about talking to your manager. Phrases like, do you have a minute? And could you clarify this?
After that, we discussed meetings. Phrases like, let's schedule a meeting. That works for me, and let's wrap this up.
Then we talked about working with colleagues. Phrases like, could you help me with this? And thanks for the feedback.
We also covered deadlines. Phrases like, when is this due? And I'm running behind.
And we talked about phone calls and emails. Phrases like, may I speak with? And I'm following up on.
Finally, we talked about problems and praise. Phrases like, I apologize for, and great job on.
When you put it like that, it's not so hard. Start with a few phrases from each part.
Exactly. The key is to practice. Use them at work, and they will become natural.
Now, we want to hear from you. Here is our question of the day.
What is the most common phrase you use at your office? And what does it mean?
For me, I say, let's touch base later, a lot. I use it when I'm busy and need to talk to someone later.
For me, I often say, could you clarify that? I want to be sure I understand things correctly.
So tell us in the comments. Write, I often say, or my most common phrase is, and explain it.
This helps us know what you need, and it helps you practice writing in English. We love reading your comments.
That's all for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching and learning with us.
If you liked this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps our channel grow.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe and click the bell. We have new videos every day.
You are all great students. We are happy to be part of your English learning journey.
Remember, learning English takes time. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every mistake is a chance to learn.
Keep practicing these phrases. The more you use them, the more natural they will feel.
And most importantly, believe in yourself. You are doing great.
Have a wonderful day, evening, or night, wherever you are. Keep learning, keep practicing.
We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.